We're watching Parliament Hill for more developments as the Trudeau government pushes to end the Canada Post rotating mail strikes. MPs sat into the small hours to pass legislation forcing postal employees back to work. Bill C-89, or the Postal Services Resumption and Continuation Act, was approved 166 to 43. The legislation now heads to the Senate for a vote there sometime this weekend. And from there, the bill goes to the Governor-General for royal assent. Once that final approval happens, the country's 50,000 postal workers will be forced back to the job at noon the next day. That could come as early as Monday. Kathleen Harris has more on the late night in the House of Commons.
Senators are heading to work today for an unusual weekend session. They're debating the Liberal government's bill to force Canada Post employees back to work. There was little doubt the bill would clear the House of Commons. The Conservatives were also supporting it. With a majority of senators now sitting as independents, the outcome there is not as predictable. Labour Minister Patty Hajdu has defended the legislation, saying it's necessary to protect business and all Canadians who rely on mail service, especially as the holiday season approaches. Hajdu says contract talks have dragged on far too long.
We have worked very hard with both parties to help them reach an agreement. However, having said that, we are now at a time where we have to take action.
NDP leader Jagmeet Singh is on the union's side. He says the government's bill is unconstitutional.
He's bringing a sledgehammer to deal with negotiations. By doing so, he's undermined negotiations. I don't understand what part of Canadians have the right to free and fair collective bargaining this Prime Minister doesn't understand.
If senators greenlight the back-to-work order, it will move on for royal assent and come into force a day later. That would put an end to the rotating strikes that have been going on for 5 weeks. Kathleen Harris, CBC News, Ottawa.
Lisa Raitt is the Conservative Party deputy leader. Now, she accuses the Trudeau government of waiting too long to act in the dispute and failing to deliver on a promise to stand up for workers' rights.
This is a government who last year made a big production about signing an ILO convention, International Labour Union Convention, about upholding the right to strike and collectively bargain. Ink is not even dry on the paper, and they're ordering them back to work. So I'm sure that there's a lot of workers out there trying to figure out exactly what happened with this Liberal government that professed to be on their side.
Now, Mike Palasek is the national president of the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, and he says the government shouldn't be using legislation to mandate his members back to work.
We've been negotiating with Canada Post for a year, and the government could have simply picked up the phone and directed them to treat women equally, to stop injuring our members, and to stop forced overtime. It's very simple. The government can't pretend to be a neutral third party here. They are one of the parties.